Good afternoon. Today is Tuesday, July 14, 2015. It is now 12 o'clock noon. We will begin our city council meeting. May I please have a roll call?
Ron Rensselaer.
Here.
Randy Conger.
Here.
Brad Hitt.
Here.
Greg Gill.
Here.
Max Sawyer.
Here.
Thank you. First on the agenda, public comments. There are none. Second is the consent agenda. Do we have any questions or comments?
I have a question on the children's board contribution. Is that through marking? How does that come?
We pay our portion and they pay their portion directly. So the amount is just for our contribution.
Any other questions?
This is our last payment contribution.
Motion approved. Support.
Thank you. Last request, questions? Comments? Roll call, please.
Rensselaer.
Aye.
Gill.
Aye.
Conger.
Aye.
Sawyer.
Aye.
Hitt.
Thank you. Number 3 on the agenda, we will now open the public hearing on the Sunshine Michigan flat prices. The public hearing is now open. Are there any public comments? Have we received any written? Nothing? Thank you.
I'm over to adjourn.
Did you close the deck? Thank you.
Support.
And roll call to close the public hearing.
Conger.
Aye.
Gill.
Aye.
Rensselaer.
Aye.
Sawyer.
Aye.
Hitt.
Aye.
And then do we have a motion to approve the sale of the lots? The price of the lots, excuse me.
Support.
There are no questions or comments?
Do we need to clear up the language on the sale, or the assessment, excuse me?
My understanding is that the assessment would only come into play if construction started 12 months. Is that correct? The way this is written, that's what would trigger it, and then it would remain in effect if it's been triggered until a residence of 20,000 is in place.
But then it would always be at least 200,000. I think our intention was to let the assessment be whatever the value is that the assessment puts on it, rather than triggering a minimum of 200,000.
Okay. The way it is right now, there would be no minimum assessment if they start construction on time, regardless of what $10 or $1 million.
Yep.
And you would only have the minimum of 200 if it's not done, and then it would remain in effect. It would only drop off if it's 200,000 or more, arguably. If we need to clarify that, I can, so that 10 years from now, there's not a question.
Yeah, we should clarify that. Okay. So should we go ahead and approve subject to that clarification?
Yes. So you're not changing the substantive intent of
And we need to have something added to the motion in a second to clarify that.
I just want to make sure I understand it. It's just that you're okay with some residents of any value as long as it's started.
There's no
Correct.
minimum.
Correct. And if it hasn't started, then the minimum of 200,000 goes into play. If a year later, or a day later, or 2 years later, they then start whatever the value that the assessor puts on it after the start date, that's the assessment. So the 200,000 would fall off then once construction is started.
Would this be the correct statement? The minimum taxable assessment for taxes shall remain in effect while residence is constructed on such spot.
So they can get a dollar
And
amount.
the real estate tax is payable on such residence.
Yes. I think that was our intent.
Basically, $200,000 is basically the penalty for not constructing within the 12 months.
It's my understanding that there was a 12-month start date, but there was never a completion date. Okay, that's.
So can we modify this motion or do we need to take roll call?
Well,
Can we modify the motion?
Robert's rules would say you either withdraw it or you amend it.
Yep, amend it. You made the original motion? And you,
So subject to.
thank you. And who seconded that? Greg? Everything's in. Awesome, are we ready? Any other comments?
How are they gonna be, first come, first served, just selling them, or?
I think, and like I said, there's been interest in the lots. Basically what we're doing now is as they come in, we would keep a list of the order until they actually fill out a purchase agreement and know what the stipulations are. I think August 5 is when we put them back on the council that any offers we have. If per chance we'd have more than 5, I think that's a discussion we would have to have, and basically I've had to discuss that with Mike as well. Then at that point in time, we can consider if there's 7 for the 5 lots, then we can discuss, I guess, where we proceed from there.
Now,
Do we need a completion date? I mean, if someone starts a house and we'll say 3 months down the road, finish it. What's the assessment? Is the penalty the assessed value then?
If I buy this lot and I start construction a month later, it's never completed because wording doesn't address that scenario.
Well, and we still have the existing covenant requirements where construction of the exterior building surface must be completed 1 year of the date of construction commenced. So, if that would assist in.
Is that zoning or is that a covenant?
That's a covenant.
Where's the teeth in that?
I think you want to have a
Property
completion date.
I don't want to make it complicated for the people who are on build, but
We want
But we also don't want something sitting there.
absolutely.
Well, consideration, we must start construction within 12 months, completed within 24 months, or 18 months. You know, then they start, let's say they close, August 30. They have to start with, before August 30 of 2016, they have to be completed by August 30 of 2017. Just a thought going out there.
If we have that $200,000 assessment, it's in it. The construction that started and not completed, then that will affect his business.
That's the way it's written, or whatever, once they start construction.
So you have
It's going to be assessed.
The amendment would be minimum taxable tax shall remain in effect on residents. Construction on such lot, real estate tax. Remember, the minimum assessment is only triggered if the construction is commenced. If we want to address the scenario raised by Randy, we could amend the previous sentence to say, in the event construction of a residence does not begin within 12 months and or is not completed within 24 months after the purchase of such lot, the minimum taxable assessment shall.
I would like to have a completion date.
Okay.
So we know, and it's in black and white.
That's fine.
So I have it done.
Yeah, the year to start
Is that
and a year to finish.
time frame acceptable then if we go to the 24 months? Then it's at least another guarantee of a closure date. Got to be done by then, or that triggers it.
Cause I'd hate to be a neighbor out there and have to have it.
Right. They put a basement in and say, well, I started, now I'm going to sit on it.
Now,
It's a good
what
point.
could happen, from the way I just read it, is I bought the lot, I started construction in month number 1, I don't do anything for 23 months, so there's a 23-month gap before the minimum assessment would trigger. But
At least there's a
we can
sunset.
have a novel, or we can have a paragraph. But this isn't an ordinance, so it's before the council. Resolution for you to finalize today. We had our public hearing, an opportunity for comment, so you have the ability to amend the resolution as published.
So we'll give them another.
I think that would be.
It's another insurance.
There's nothing to have it.
To begin within 12 months
That's right.
and to finish another 12 months after.
So 24 months, another 12 months. And when we start construction.
Is that correct? 12 months to finish.
I understand that. I'm trying to run everything off the date of purchase.
I like the date of purchase.
Because
That's the
otherwise you're
timeline
gonna have
it
to
starts.
monitor, what is construction commencement begin? Is it when I bought my drafting plan?
That's true, then we're going to
Is it
monitor
when
if they
I,
start moving through.
marked it out? What is it?
All right.
I like the date of.
Yeah, no, we got something
24 months to have it finished.
from the closing date.
amendment again.
Another amendment.
Subject to new amendment.
For a second time.
Which is 12 months to start after the closing of the apprentice and 24 months to complete after the closing of the apprentice. And Greg, you still have that second amendment, all right? Any other comments?
What about the realtor fees? Do they get tacked on to the purchaser's cost? Or how are those, are they, are we selling them ourselves?
No, it's at this point, whatever through the realtor, it's the same as what we had it before. It's right now, it's based on a percentage of 5% of the dollar.
That's fine.
Unless the council chose to do
Okay,
something
I just want to
different.
know what it was, so we don't.
I did go back and try to look in 2006 unless somebody, we did not find that we did anything at that point in time, but that's why, I mean, that's up to the council if they so choose to want to do something different.
Any other comments? No questions? I love the roll call.
Kent.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Sawyer.
Aye.
Plumper.
Thank you. Next on our agenda, number 4 is considering a resolution approving the transfers for the fiscal year 2014-15 and activating explanation of things for us.
Just a couple of things. Due to the positive general fund balance, we only transferred $88,500 from other funds into the general fund, which is about $100,000 less than what's budgeted. A couple of funds that we don't use anymore that we zeroed out: FEMA and the 2011 capital improvement project, which is the Crossroads Industrial Park. We combined a couple of them. We combined the Trails capital project with the future project of trails. Essentially, we're painting this different fund number. And we also pulled lumber 1 into lumber 3 just to simplify it as one lumber area.
Any questions?
Make motion to approve the franchise.
If there's no comments, I'd like to roll call, please.
Sawyer.
Aye.
Plumper.
Aye.
Benson. Keel. Kent.
Thank you. Number 5 on our agenda is considering approval for the Sheldon Housing Review Board's authorized signatures. They are Dennis Porter at CDC, Kurt Strauss with LCDC, and Scott Lee will be our alternate signature. It's a formality.
This is in regards to the local housing assistance program. The program is no longer in place, but we do have dollars in our account at approximately $40,000, and it has to follow the same stipulation guidelines. So for any agreements and stuff that we have there, Dennis Porter, the current chair, Kurt Strauss, the LCDC executive director, has only been the secretary, and then I was using the alternate.
No comments? Do you have a motion to approve?
Support.
Roll call, please.
Plumper.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Sawyer. Kent.
Aye.
Thank you. Last comments. Do you have any comments? Scott, you have anything?
How's the ball field project coming?
Good.
It is.
Looks nice.
Nice. I don't ever see anybody on it.
I did.
Looks like we're something.
I thought I knew one, but that's true. I thank you to the village and everyone who participated. We had a great event in Sheldon. And on that note, we have a motion to adjourn. Yep, and a roll call, please.
Keel. Sawyer. Kent. Plumper.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Thank you. We are adjourned.